Good morning, everybody. Can you hear us all right? I do feel we could almost shout today, but thank you all for those of you that have braved the heat. I suspect a lot of people looked at the weather forecast and went, we'll do the online version. My name is David Rawle. I am the CTO for Bytes Software Services. It should be there. There we go. That is me. I have worked at Bytes Software Services for 25 years now. I'm in my 26th year with the business. Started as a security consultant, became a technical director and MD, and now I'm a CTO and board member. It means allegedly that I know about business and technology. I'll leave you to be the judge of that at the end of this session, but hopefully you will get that impression. Brandon?
Hello. Yes, I am Brandon Cooke, the CTO for public sector within Checkpoint. My background over the last 12 years has been a combination of the civil service, consulting, all around technology. And I joined Checkpoint just over 2 months ago to start something new within Checkpoint, which is sector-aligned field CTOs. So, here today to talk to you about some of the Checkpoint products that are relevant to the public sector.
Right, so, too close. Does anybody, you never know what kind of audience you've got, right? Everybody familiar with the concept of an attack chain? Good. Generally not. Good. Why am I talking about something that we first talked about in cybersecurity 20 years ago that everybody takes for granted, that is it's just like breathing from a cybersecurity point of view these days? Because it is even more relevant now with what has happened in the retail world, particularly here in the UK, over the last 8 to 12 weeks. Okay, the basics, I'm not going to dwell. I could spend literally an hour soapboxing about all the mistakes that were made that enabled people like M&S, Co-op, etc. to be breached. We're not here to talk about that today. What we're here is to try and learn some lessons and to talk about some things that are relevant. For me, it's the basics. It comes down to the basics. For every single one of you as organisations, whether you're in the corporate or public sector world, you should be able to identify the potential attack chain and attack path that will lead anywhere into your business, and also what you will do about it if any of those sections or any of those links in that chain get breached. Okay, that's the most important thing. We, as Bytes, went through a NIS2 audit about 8 to 12 weeks ago, and the auditor sat there in front of me 6 to 8 weeks ago, because it was about 2 weeks after the M&S incident first happened. And the auditor sat there and went to me, "Are you, as Bytes, happy with your business continuity plan?" To which I said, "Yes, I'm very happy with my business continuity plan." But then again, nobody has a business continuity plan that they consciously don't think is fit for purpose. M&S were probably happy with their business continuity plan, and look what happened to them, okay? So there's always more. So what we're really encouraging people to do is to revisit the pathways into your business, revisit the potential attack chains, and to make sure you're doing everything you can. What we're going to do today is I'm going to focus on 3 elements of the potential attack chain into your business. And then Brandon is going to present some ideas of how Checkpoint can help you with that. From my point of view, I'm here to challenge you to think about that link in the chain and how you may or may not protect it, okay? So we're going to double act this a little bit. So let's get on to the first one, okay? The 3 I'm going to talk about, crick my neck because the text down here is really small. Delivery, exploitation, and actions on objectives. So let's talk about delivery. The most common attack vector is phishing, is email phishing fundamentally. Why are they doing that? Well, they want either authentication or they want to drop malware. Either way, they either want you to click on something which infects your machine, we'll come on to that on the next one, or they want an authentication token which enables them to get in and start to spread laterally, right? But either way, what they're looking is to try and dupe your users into doing something. The thing I find astonishing still, and this does astonish me, as businesses, we spend huge amounts of time, effort and money on obfuscating our estate, right? Web application firewalls, cloud-based proc, all sorts of stuff, right? All the toys in the world to protect your data and your network, right? And then what you do is publicly expose 2 entry points to every single user on your network via their email address and their mobile number. We're going to talk about email today. I would argue mobile is an even bigger problem, right? Because most mobiles don't have enough filtering to protect people from willy-nilly giving away their authentication credentials on them, right? But we just give it away. We give this direct stuff away. okay? And I find that incomprehensible, given that people are acknowledged as the weakest link in the chain. Why do we give direct access to it? So I said, we're going to talk about email. I am going to click up, and I'm going to put this slide up for Brandon to talk about how Checkpoint can help with it.
Thank you very much. So in August 2022, the NHS 111 service experienced a major disruption due to a cyber attack on a software provider. This impacted urgent care, patient referrals, ambulance dispatch, all stemming from one breach point. Attacks like this often start with the most common entry point, and that is human interaction. A single malicious email, a click to link, an exposed credential, and suddenly critical care pathways are frozen. And the reality is, NHS staff from paramedics to admin need fast access to systems to deliver care. But access without protection is inherently dangerous. People will always make mistakes, and especially in high-pressure environments. The challenge isn't stopping the mistake, it's building systems that absorb the impact without letting it get to a disaster. The truth is, this isn't just a people problem, it's a security design problem. We give users access because they need it to do their job, but we must do so intelligently and not punish the users for it. It's about giving access with protection because people will always make mistakes. But if the system is built right, those mistakes don't have to become breaches. And this is exactly where Checkpoint's Harmony comes in. And with Harmony email and collaboration, phishing and credential theft attempts are blocked before they reach people's inboxes. You know, that's one of the biggest things. You can't click on it if it's not there. And then Harmony Endpoint and Mobile takes over. Should the worst happen and somebody clicks on a link, then that stops the malicious payload from spreading. And something really cool with Harmony with regards to users training and training them appropriately. Harmony Email allows you to run hyper-personalized phishing simulation. And through this analyzes pattern of life data, that's country, region, job role, people and organizations that you interact with. And off the back of that, that then stops users because current phishing simulation campaigns can become predictable, becomes muscle memory for users. This then allows the users to think of a mindset of complex social engineering attacks and then counter those. This is all powered by Checkpoint's Threat Cloud AI, which draws from over 100 billion global threat indicators every day. And the protection is continuously adapting to new threats. In a high-stakes environment like the NHS, we need security that moves as fast as the clinicians without slowing them down. We rely on NHS professionals to keep us safe every day, and we as an industry want to return the favour by giving them systems that empower safe access, not risky exposure. And with the right tools, people all of a sudden aren't the weakest link, they're your strongest and smartest layer of defence.
Thank you, Brandon. So that's Harmony. Let's go on to the next stage in our kill chain, exploitation. I was at a conference last week of cyber people. Funnily enough, cyber people that want to sell people stuff. And the question was posed, AI, friend or foe? What do you think they said? Does anybody want to put their head above the parapet and shout what they think the answer at that conference was? Oh, no, they didn't say that. They should have done. And in actual fact, I'm going to challenge that for you in a minute as well. They all said AI friend because they want you to buy AI tools, obviously. They all said it was a friend. I don't think it's a friend or a foe. I think it's a tool. It is a tool like user interfaces. It's a tool like API. It's a tool like cloud-based delivery solutions, like everything else. Terraform is a tool. AI-based solutions are a tool. They are all tools. When used appropriately, they are fantastic. When used inappropriately, they are not. We now find ourselves in a situation where even very, very unskilled people can take Microsoft's release notes for Patch Tuesday and craft malicious payload within minutes or hours at worst, minutes at best, to target your estate, right? This is what we've created for ourselves. We have AI tools that create high-quality phishing attack. I mean, we all knew how to spot a phishing email, right? They were easy because they were written so badly. And I apologize to anybody in the room who clicked on one prior to Copilot or ChatGPT coming thing, but I'm going to say it. They were written so badly, you had to be, let's be charitable, either very busy or an idiot to click on one, right? So, as I said, to those online and here in the room, I apologize if you did ever click on one, because I will give you the get out. You could have just been very busy and distracted. They are so good now. They are so good. That's where what Brandon was saying about the hyper-personalization of the testing within Harmony Email comes in. So you need to be so mindful of this. And businesses, any organization, we all know, I mean, how many times have Microsoft patched on Patch Tuesday and then pulled that patch, particularly for servers, a matter of hours or days later, right? Because there's a problem with it, or it's killed something or something else. So we can't just whack patches straight onto systems immediately. We have test rings. You know, we generally have everything patched within 10 days, 2 weeks. Cyber Essentials Plus, if you adhere to it, says you have to have everything patched within 2 weeks. So let's just say that's the worst case scenario. But what if there's a malicious payload out there literally in minutes or hours? So you have to deal with this challenge. You can't just patch instantaneously. You need to protect your estate. Over to you, Brandon.
Thank you. So as David alluded to, you know, it wouldn't be too hard to imagine for people in this room, but you know, a major government IT department pushes a critical Friday afternoon update, the worst things you can possibly do, but it's critical. Come Monday morning, users can't log in, emails are bouncing, operational systems are down, all because the update which fixed one issue unintentionally broke another, and that is incredibly common. And many of us have lived that. In the public sector especially, where uptime can mean critical national services are impacted, stability is everything. And we're caught in a bind. Threats evolve incredibly quickly, and the pressure to patch fast is real. And delaying patches can leave you vulnerable, but phishing without visibility can lead to outages. What's worse is that many organizations still lack the visibility and control needed to make confident decisions. So in the UK defence sector, for example, systems can often include a mix of modern platforms and legacy infrastructure, much like many people from different organizations in this room. And the cost of disruption isn't just financial, it can affect operational readiness, intelligence workflows, and coordination between agencies. In one instance, a scheduled update to a legacy comms platform introduced a compatibility issue that disrupted secure message delivery between command centers. And it wasn't the patch itself that failed, but the lack of risk context surrounding it. With critical national security at risk, updates need to be tightly orchestrated, but even more importantly, we need a safety net. That's why smart risk-based approaches to patching aren't just convenient, but they're essential to protect systems immediately while ensuring operational integrity. And Verity, now part of Checkpoint, changes this. Verity gives us the ability to patch virtually patch vulnerabilities. This means we can deploy protective controls at the network or endpoint layer that block the exploit without touching the system itself. You get immediate protection and time to test and roll out official patches when it's safe to do so. Even better, Verity shares threat intelligence across multiple vendors, part of Checkpoint's open garden approach. So Verity shares not just with Checkpoint, but CrowdStrike, Wiz, Splunk, Microsoft, just to name a few. And we're integrated with over 70 technology providers so far, and that's growing. And this gives you a unified risk-based view of your entire infrastructure. The example that I like for this one is it's like putting a cast on a broken bone before surgery. You stabilise now and treat properly when it's safe to do so. Security and uptime shouldn't be a trade-off, and with Verity you get both.
Thank you. So, next one. Actions and observations. I'm surprisingly, I'm a technology person, right? I love technology. I love the toys that come with technology, right? I love a toy. But this one I find is underrated, and a lot of organisations seem reluctant to invest in this area, okay? But it's actually really, really important, whether you're focusing on brand and reputation or whether you're focusing on security. So brand and reputation is a relatively easy sell for enterprise risk management, okay? I always get the name of this wrong. It's not enterprise risk. Is it enterprise risk? What are we calling it?
External risk monitoring.
External risk monitoring. I always want to call it enterprise risk manager. External risk monitoring. I knew I'd got it wrong even as I said it. Brand and reputation is a fairly easy sell to large businesses because they want to know if their website's been compromised or somebody's impersonating or something else. They will pay significant money to ensure that can't happen, right? Fairly simple. But from a core point of view, a domain being spun up that's similar to a domain of your main website or something like that, it could be an early sign that somebody's about to start a phishing attack against you, okay? And this happens all the time. There are so many mechanisms, false certificates, right, being created that are in those domains and similar to those names. A set of username and passwords suddenly popping up on the dark web, okay? This happens all the time. I will guarantee you each and every one of your organisations represented, either this room or online, there will be usernames and passwords of your end users on the dark web that are relevant and live and could give them access to the system that it was created for, okay? I will guarantee you every single organisation in the room finds themselves in that position, right? What does that mean? At least one of your users has successfully fallen for a phishing attack. Guaranteed, okay? I mean, it's just a fact. The ability to have an awareness of that, to see if suddenly there's a link, have 4 or 5 people in our accounts team suddenly popped up, right? Have people in marketing suddenly popped up? Is there a surge of domains being registered that then results in a series of sets of credentials popping up, right? It's not just about brand and reputation. This is a fundamental early warning tool, okay, that can tell you if your business is being exploited or attacked.
Thank you. And just to extend on that point there, we have seen through Cyberin that individuals who have logged into their corporate emailing system, Office 365, and then saved their credentials within something like a Chrome browser, that's then been exposed on their own personal system, which has actually then made them susceptible to social engineering attacks, because in that Chrome browser, there were family members that are logged into different systems, and a lot of the time people use their own names in their email addresses, and you can start building out from there. So actually the net is cast incredibly wide, and you wouldn't have had that intelligence without external risk monitoring. So in 2023, a local authority in the Midlands suffered a data breach after attackers discovered a misconfigured cloud storage bucket. Sensitive documents were publicly exposed, not because of a direct attack, but because no one noticed the exposure. The vulnerability wasn't inside the file, it was on the fringe. In the expanded digital footprint that traditional monitoring tools weren't watching. Today's digital footprint, as you all know, is borderless. Hybrid work, cloud apps, third-party services, shadow IT. And for local authorities in the UK, this means the council services are now more digitally connected than ever before, from planning portals, housing systems, social care platforms, and citizen engagement apps. But with this comes risk. Much of the infrastructure in local government is managed by outsourced providers, or again, legacy IT systems. Vulnerabilities aren't always behind your firewall, they're sitting in public-facing systems. partner integrations, cloud services that fall outside of traditional monitoring. Often the first signs of trouble, like leaked credentials, exposed documents, or domain impersonations, occur in one place when no one's looking. And they happen out there in the open web. You can't protect what you can't see, which is why visibility across the expanded digital footprint is no longer optional, it's essential. This is where Cyberint comes in, and this gives us our external risk monitoring encompassing attack surface management. Tools that let you see what the attackers see, and Cyberint continuously scans for exposed assets. Like in my example of a local authority, a CVE alert would have been generated, allowing for a quick response for attack mitigation. We cover stolen credentials, brand impersonations, and a whole lot more as well. As Dave alluded to, hackers are using advanced AI tools to reverse CVEs, reverse engineer CVEs within minutes. And going back to my point about, you need a unified risk-based view of your IT infrastructure. It's the risk of taking down systems and rushing a patch and not doing so. We can look to cover as much of your attack surface as possible to provide fast, actionable intelligence in a format you can actually digest and act upon. It integrates with our Infinity SOC, allowing for automated prioritization and response. When you combine that with Threat Cloud AI, you're no longer aware of threats. You understand which ones matter most and can act before they escalate. It's like having a satellite view of your organization and then zooming down into street level when needed. And that's the kind of real-time intelligent visibility that keeps your digital estate truly protected.
Thank you, Brandon. So, I said we focused on 3 areas of the attack chain there. I should have put another slide in that put all 7 of the ones I had back up. I didn't. I'm not going to try and click back to it because I'll get lost and I'll get it all wrong. Hopefully, there's been a few things in there that resonated. We've got 3-4 minutes left, so I'm just going to soapbox for a minute. So you're just going to have to indulge me. Sorry, you're a captive audience. You can't go anywhere. Once upon a time, so I've worked for this business for 26 years, and we were an independent business until 2011. Bytes bought us in 2011, been part of the Bytes group since then. And the gentleman that ran our business and owned our business, he was an owner-proprietor, he created the business in 1999, used to get us regularly to do a process that he used to call tragic or magic, okay? So what we would do is we'd look at any customer interaction point within our business, be a support ticket, implementation of services, accounts payable, anything, right? Anywhere where we had a customer interaction, and we would sit as a team, and we would identify everything that made that process magic to our customers and anything that would make that process tragic to our customers. You draw yourself up a list, and you try and work out how to flip them all to be a magic experience for your end users or your customers, right? I invite all of you to work through your attack chains, okay, and to understand when it comes to people interaction through the attack chain, what makes it tragic or magic from a potential risk and security point of view to your businesses, okay, and to your organizations. Because some of the things that we now know of what's happened over the last 8 to 12 weeks to UK, going back to the UK retail example in particular, a lot of businesses would not, or a lot of organizations would not countenance the changes that are being recommended. The simple phrase, no remote password resets. If somebody locks themselves their account, they have to visit an office, and that's the end of it, okay? That is the official advice that allegedly would have stopped Marks and Spencer's being breached in the first place if they had simply done that. Now, we all have hybrid workforces. It's not as simple as saying, I can't do that. And they go, well, I can't work then. You go, okay, come to the office. But you need to start to act on these situations and these challenges. So as I said, please work through your attack chains. Understand the attack chain for every one of your user interactions, because that is the weakest link overall. And understand what you can do to make it tragic or magic within your organization. And if you do that, you stand a chance. Because here today are the most forward-thinking, by definition, by attending these sessions, the most forward-thinking and enthusiastic of our public sector. As a country, we need you guys. We need you guys to smash this and nail this. So please ask us for help, work with us, work with the likes of Checkpoint, do your stuff, and let's make sure this country stays safe, secure, and up and running. And that is us. Thank you very much.
Thank you.